What's going on there? It's Wednesday, June 1st. I'm Frank Curzio. It's the Wall Street Unplugged podcast where I break down the headlines and tell you what's really moving these markets. So it's Wednesday, and I'm bringing in, actually, I forgot your name. What's your name again?
Listen to this.
What's your name again? I forgot. Daniel
Hello,
Creech, Senior Research Analyst. I forgot your name because you've been on vacation. How long? For like a month? I haven't seen you in a long time, man.
Yeah. It's good to be back. I was gone a week, 2 weeks on the podcast, but that was just for scheduling reasons and all that kind of stuff. No, it's fantastic to be back. It was good to unplug. I left the country, Frank. Little backside or inside baseball here for those listening is hilarious because Frank, he's a genuine guy, don't get me wrong, but I came back and I told him several times, hey, I'm going to be unplugged. I'm not going to be in contact. You know, it's the first time I was taking time off without checking in. And he says, oh, yeah. And we had the big deal going. Of course, I leave when the markets are volatile. You're announcing this major deal. It's all exciting. I get back and no shit. Frank looks at me and goes, where did you go again?
No idea.
So that's the truth, people. That's how close and how busy we are here. But no, honestly, it was great to unplug. If you're fortunate enough to have a boss like me and you can unplug for that amount of days. I heard you talking about me on the podcast when I was catching up, but great to unplug. The market obviously missed me. It went down while I was away. It's now rallying back.
Whoa. Before we go to the market. So your trip, you were on a sailboat, is that correct?
Yes. I got on a sailboat for the first time, was out in the ocean, went to Belize, then sailed around the different islands. It was awesome. It was a crazy experience. I was so far out of my element that it's a good thing we were busy leading up to it, so I didn't have a lot of time to think about it. It went great, but you know, when you go to a different area, I was with great people, but it's just
who are you with?
I was with my girlfriend and her parents, Frank, and I'm a hell of a guy to put up with for a week. But everybody was fantastic. Okay. It was a lot of fun. It really was.
I'm just curious. I'm just saying, you're on a boat, no place to go. And if that works out, you know that, that's a good thing.
I'm telling you, there was islands around and you could go in and, you know, I wasn't not on land at all. Don't get me wrong. We would take this small dinghy boat in. I will tell you though, I'm very fortunate because I didn't get seasick or anything, but when I got back to Atlanta airport, I was land sick. And and then the following day when I was back in here in the office on last Wednesday, even Frank made a few comments to me because I was standing in his doorway and I'm kind of holding on. That was the most off balance I'd been. So that is something when you get used to the kind of rocking back and forth and all that, and then you hit land, and it was goofy. I kind of walked around like I was drunk a few days. Should have used an excuse. Could have been drinking all day.
Could have took off 2 months instead of one.
Anyway, can we move on here and get something valuable?
I'm just saying that's a good thing because if you can't, no place to go. So I'm glad you didn't swim to another island just to get off. So that's a good thing.
No,
that's
nothing
cool.
like it. It was great. It was a lot of fun. The only bad thing I could complain about is there was no clear morning, so I didn't get a sunrise. You know, I'm up at like 4:30 every morning because when you're on a boat, as soon as it starts getting light, what the hell else are you going to do? And so I was up having coffee, and that's the only thing I can complain about is that I didn't have a clear morning where I was just on the water and all that. But thank goodness I'm spoiled, and I live here on Amelia Island, and I go to the sunrises here often. So.
No, good stuff. That was much more than Daniel wanted to explain, so I had to get that out.
Yeah, I hate talking about stuff like that.
So we said we're going to take questions and stuff. So I'm going to start here, Daniel, and thank you so much. FrankCurzioResearch.com. We take a lot of questions over the past few weeks. The market really coming down. It was nice to see a pretty good relief last week, big relief of 6%. But let me go with this question. And Daniel, I think I have you answer it because you know a lot about this. Hello, Frank. I'm excited to get confirmation on the closure of my investment in your private placement, investing in TCG World. Thank you so much. I appreciate this from Brian. And I got your credit card. I charged it for $3 million. Thank you so much for your investment. I'm just kidding. But yes, I did get your investment. I appreciate it. Because I came across this podcast this weekend and found out to be a pretty good listen of Web 3.0 NFTs in the Metaverse. Albeit it's about 2 hours long, so Tim Blog, he shares that link. But his question is on Galaxy Digital and any foreign traded stock for the matter. Is it better to wait to buy Galaxy when they list on the New York Stock Exchange, as they mentioned in a press release due to dividend withholding, etc., or take the plunge now since the stock is pretty beaten down? Thank you. You are an investor in Galaxy Digital, right? And this is a recommendation as well. We can't buy recommendations till after our subscribers, but that's one of the ones that really got hit hard, along with all cryptos, guys. I mean, if you're looking at cryptos, I mean, everyone's getting their ass kicked. If you just in Q4 of 2021, 50% of cryptos were down 80%. That was before pre-market crash, pre-deleveraging, pre-Fed going crazy. Like November they started, pre-Luna. So, you can imagine even the good names in our portfolio are down significantly, but you're going to see the cream rise to the top, and there's a lot of good names. But Galaxy's on that list of a stock that's great, that has gotten absolutely killed. But yeah, Daniel, why don't you give that a shot? Because I know you're very familiar with that and love Novogratz, at least listen to his calls and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like everything they're doing, and that guy is very kind on saying how it's, what do you say, getting smacked or it just dropped. The thing is down tremendously, and I'm down tremendously on this. So I think I replied to everybody that emailed me, Daniel@CurzioResearch.com, while I was away. And yes, I still like it, and there's no sugarcoating this. So what I'm about to say is not to avoid the absolute egg on my face, target on my back of any excuses of that nature. In hindsight, if you want to wait until it lists, because right now Galaxy Digital is on the Canadian exchange, they're waiting for approval, and that has gone slowly. I was hoping for that in last quarter's update. They just reported Q2 earnings, so now we're going to have to wait again until at least quarter 3 or quarter 4, which is aggravating, don't get me wrong. That being said, the stock is down to what, $6 and change? I started buying this in the high 20s and low 30s, and then I've bought it on the way down. So that shows you how good I look right now. Couple of things about the thesis and overall. Number one, it's easy to say, hey, over the next 3 years, I'm bullish and here's why, when you're first getting into it. Now emotions and reality set in. I was dead wrong. I've been dead early. I've been buying over time. Quick rabbit trail here. Unless you have a Scrooge McDuck pile of money, you're going to invest over time as you get paid, or you have different investments come off for capital gains or whatever. So for me, I'm a $1,000 to $2,000 a month guy that I can allocate however I want to, depending on how tight I live to choose, i.e. going on vacation, stuff like that. So I've been buying, and now it's great because if the thesis works out, Frank, I'm buying at lower cost, lowering my dollar cost average in at a lower price. The flip of that emotion is the first few months when I'm starting to buy it and it's running up and you don't have any more money to buy. So that's just something you're going to have to deal with. Do you want to go, if you want to go ahead and take the plunge now before they get the U.S. approval, which they're still waiting on, don't get me wrong, the stock is down so much, I would definitely look into that. The other part of the thesis, in addition to moving over and being traded on a U.S. exchange, is big not only for the money that can flow into you, because the U.S. is the leader in capitalism. It's the world markets. Your stock trades here. It's going to be easier to get funds to invest in you. So I think that would be good from a macro standpoint. The other thing is their acquisition of BitGo, huge crypto custodian holder that does a lot of things across wallets, has a lot of users. They're end up paying more for that, Galaxy Digital is, but they have to wait on the U.S. approval listing to kind of close that deal and issue shares. So there's a lot of moving pieces here. I say all that. Yes, I'm still buying stock. What I like to see, Frank, is that when crap hits the fan, when you're down, when you go through bear markets, just like you always say to our listeners, hey, we want to be there for you. Nobody cares when our recommendations go straight through the roof. Everybody cares when they're down, and a lot of them have gotten hit with the broader markets. So what I like to see from Galaxy Digital, and again, this doesn't guarantee anything, but it's good to see when you're investing from a business perspective. They reported first quarter 2022 results on May 9th, Frank. On May 11th, a couple days later, they announced the board of approval for share repurchase program, and that got approved, and they were going to buy back about 10% of their shares. Frank, if you're investing in somebody and a CEO and the stock starts tanking, what do you want to see? You want to see him step up and buy. So that's a good thing. Then on the 13th, 2 more days later, they provided an update capital and liquidity position. Then on the 16th, they announced that, hey, we got this TSX approval to buy back shares. And then Mike Novogratz put out a not huge, but a couple page letter on the 18th. So I say all that because that's positive to see. It does make me feel better, I admit, as a shareholder and getting smacked on it. I just want to see this thesis play out. And if I'm wrong, if they don't get listing, if they're not going to do the acquisition with BitGo, if management doesn't continue and be profitable across all these asset lines of revenue, then I'll have to say, hey, I was wrong, take my lumps. And it's a big loss. You can stop me here. I don't know how much I want to go into why, everybody just needs to be cautious with position sizing and stop loss on a personal basis. We can't give that kind of advice. I can give you what I think, but, Galaxy Digital, that's it in a nutshell. It's
I mean, look, it is crypto, guys, and we're very clear when it comes to crypto. You even heard my reaction when I first heard when you read about Fidelity allowing 20% to be, Bitcoin crypto. I thought that was an insane amount, right? I think it's 5% allocation. But it is crypto. It's a new industry, and we're always clear on that. This is very, very risky. What I like is the risk you're taking, the reward is definitely worth the risk compared to taking the same risk that you're taking in NASDAQ and even some of those stocks down 70% plus if you're looking at SPACs and recent IPOs. So now, for your question, should you buy it now, New York Stock Exchange? I mean, that's up to you. I really can't tell you when to buy it. I will say this, though. I see, this is listed in Toronto and also on over the counter. I do see a lot of mining companies that I've dealt with over the past 20 years, and then as they get bigger, they're like, yeah, we want to get on U.S. exchanges, increase volatility. That adds more capital. You got to be careful. It does. That's the goal, but you have to realize in Toronto, you can't short the way you could short in the U.S. In the U.S., you can make up a whole freaking story. We've seen it before. Some good short sellers out there, you can make up a whole story. They got lawyers. Before the story even breaks, the second it breaks, you got 40 lawyers suing you. It's just a whole coordinated effort through so many different sites. The Seeking Alphas, whatever. Just a whole coordinated effort of the short report, and they'll bring down the stock. And they even say in the disclaimer, we could be out of this position by the time you're reading this. So you open up your door to that when you're on New York Stock Exchange, when you open up to the larger U.S. exchanges. So you have to be careful and make sure that you're not full of it. Well, when it comes to Galaxy Digital, these guys are not full of it. They're the gatekeeper for big Wall Street investment banks. That's why Goldman Sachs signed a deal with them. This is why Morgan Stanley signed a deal with them. They're in so many different deals that I've seen early on within crypto. I know crypto's gotten nailed, lately, but I'm talking about for the last 4 or 5 years, the deals that they have access to, their network, getting in these things super early. These guys have an amazing network. If you're a believer in crypto, that Bitcoin's going to go to 100,000, and I'm not talking about this year, next year, 3 years, even if it's 5 years, these guys are going to benefit significantly. They're well positioned. They know what they're doing. They're great. And that's why the biggest banks in the world are going to them. Granted, Novogratz has that Goldman Sachs background, but they have the right connections to do this, and they've been doing it perfectly, right? Following regulatory structures that are so muddy right now, and now they're getting better. And, Biden's executive order and stuff to really start regulating the industry has helped tremendously, and even Novogratz said that. But this is a name that I like. It's gotten killed. You can't look at it and say, this name is great. It's like looking at any stock that's gotten killed. When you see the leveraging, the whole industry is down 75-80% in crypto. Everything's getting murdered right now. With that said, there's a lot of great names. This is where the greatest innovation is coming from. And now there's $250 trillion in global assets, finally, that open up the door to crypto. I mean, you're looking at a tiny percentage of that coming in. I mean, just the Fidelities, the BlackRocks, the Vanguards, you're talking about, well over $10 trillion in assets that are opening this up. And there's a reason why. After Luna, after everything that's happened, Bitcoin's been holding pretty steady here at 31, 32,000. Yes, it went down to 23, 24 and down from 65, but it's been holding pretty steady. In the last month, which has really seen a downturn in stocks outside of last week. But this is one of the premier names in the industry, and I think you got to look back and see where it is now and be like, holy shit, I can't believe that stock was trading at this price. You'll look back 2 years from now and be like, I cannot believe that. 3 years from now, just like with Devon was trading at $5-6, right? Devon was trading at $6 in COVID, so that's one of these opportunities, I believe. But you have to be a believer in crypto, and remember, it is risky. Crypto is crazy volatile. And, you have to be willing to, this is speculative capital you should be using on this. So, I think we're in agreement there. But another question too, and you have one question. Why don't you read it? Because I have a similar question too. We'll give both these guys a shout out. Okay, what was your question? Yeah,
John asked, in addition to Galaxy Digital, he was asking about Voyager, Riot Blockchain, and a couple other, what I like, he says, crypto picks that have become shadows of their former selves. Mm-hmm. And I also like this. He points out and says, just as an upriver collapse has downriver implication, what needs further further wipeout in candidate? Well, I don't know what he meant there. What else do you need to see and to hold them, not fold them? That's the Kenny Rogers song, Frank. We reference songs here quite often. Mm. To his point, here's how I would trade. And I know we have a couple of these in the CI portfolio, so I'm not going against Frank here. What Frank just mentioned, if this crash is causing you to lose faith in Bitcoin going to be over six figures at some point, or money flowing into the space is going to dry up, you're going to see less people try to get jobs in this space, crypto in general. I mean, across blockchain, across development, anything. If that's shaken, then I would use the rallies to lighten up and or sell positions. Because the worst thing and I've done this, and I'm speaking from experience, and I know Frank can touch on this too. One of the worst things is, and I feel bad for John here because I know what he's saying. Hey, Frank, when you buy something and it's a huge winner, and then it gets to be less of a winner or, heaven forbid, a loss, that's just tough to manage. It's like buying a great stock, getting out for a gain, getting back in. Even though the stock may sell off, it's very difficult to go back and revisit that with a clear conscience. At least I'm admitting that is.
Most people, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You brought up Devin. I've been arguing, not arguing. Frank hasn't been disagreeing with me. I've been upset with us because I haven't been saying that anymore. I say all that because that's how I would do it. But you have to, like, there's no way to me, even though Riot, I don't know their break even with Bitcoin right off the top of my head with mining. But if Bitcoin makes a rally to an all new time high above 70,000 or 100,000, I personally don't see how all the crypto related, the minings, the micro strategies, anybody with any exposure, Tesla, because they hold it on Bitcoin on their balance sheet, all those, if you don't think that euphoria is going to catch up and go off again, I disagree with that. I don't know when that's going to happen, but if you don't feel like that's in place again or that's in the cards, then, like I said, use your rallies to lighten up positions. That's as close as we can give personal advice. But again, know your thesis, know why you own it, and then, just see if management is following through. I know I'm not trying to sound like it's easy. I'm just simply saying you want to keep it simple and try to write those down and follow those.
Yeah, I mean, so just to let you guys know, bring in here. So Bitcoin, this is normal. This is normal for most growth industries, right? And innovative industries, these ups and downs. Actually, you go back to technology, 2000, you look at, and even with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin in 2018 fell 85%, Daniel, 85% from 19K to 3,000 before rocketing to 65,000. It was 2,000% in 24 months? So less than 2 years. So you're going to see these massive up and downs. I love the fact that you're going to see a washout because there's so much shit. There is a lot of shit in this industry that needs to be washed out, and these kids and these tokens have no ties. They don't report anything. I think you're going to see a lot of these deemed securities, which is great, but the innovation is taking place here, and it's unbelievable. It's impacting all the industries. If you look at the deal flow went from basically a little over $1 billion, like $55 billion last year. And now already it's exceeded that in this freaking market. So and it's not just coming from crypto funds or venture funds. It's coming from corporations. It's coming from across the board, like just all across different industries. If you see the breakdown, and I read this today, but you're seeing a breakdown where it's all these industries because it's impacting all these industries. They have no choice but to invest and to hire people, hire more developers that are in the blockchain. Seth also says, as many folks right now have some staggering losses in my non-tax advantage and crypto accounts, would now be a good time to sell off the losers long enough to avoid the wash sale. P.S. I know if I do, the market is sure to bounce back big in the meantime. I hear you, which is similar to that. But, if you want to take loss for tax purposes, that makes sense. They're down a lot. And I mean, I paid my biggest tax bill I've ever paid last year, which kind of sucks because you paid in April when everything really was crashing, right? And that's what really hurt. And what are you doing? Not for me, but I could see a lot of people selling a lot of their positions to pay that tax bill because outside November, December, the market did fantastic last year. It really just crashed the last couple of months. So that's good advice. If hey, you want to sell, and again, to avoid wash sell rule on 30 days before you buy it back or whatever. But that's a way to lock in losses against potential gains that you may have. That's fine. But, in crypto, these ups and downs are normal. I know it's tough to say, especially when we're sitting a lot of losers in our portfolio as well that are down. But these are same scenarios where if you look at the top 6 or 7 of our crypto holdings, some of those are up 40x, 30x. They're still up 10x. Those names are down 40, 50% in 2018. And, for us, we were adding a little bit on the way down, taking small positions, because if we had stops in this industry, when you have tight stops, you're going to get stopped out immediately. And none of those gains that we have, which are monstrous gains in some of the early positions, would have never happened. So on a flip side, you're going to have to be willing to take bigger losses, which means this is speculative money. You have to understand this is money you could afford to lose that you're saying, okay, I want the shot at making it 25x plus. All right, 10x plus, and I'm willing to lose. So you don't have that case with some of our small cap newsletters. I've, fortunately never had a stock go down to zero or lose all our money. We stop out of names and we have stops around 35%. Sometimes I'll extend to 50% if I think the upside potential is that much. But, there's a limited amount there. But this, you have to be careful here because, there is money, it is speculative, the gains are incredible. And, there's massive ups and downs in this industry. There's a lot of great things. But I could tell you now people get into crypto are going to be extremely, extremely well rewarded. I know it's difficult. Nobody really invests at the bottom. Nobody likes that when you see a major sell-off. And people, look, Bitcoin's down, whatever, 55%. Most of these names are down 85%. A lot of these names, a lot of good names. A lot of really good names. Like if you look at a top 15, those names are down. Those are good names backed by great management teams, backed by big venture funds, amazing technologies, amazing blockchains, just great ideas. When you see a lot of the good names sell off, this is a great opportunity. But yeah, these are the questions we're asking. These are questions that we're addressing too, and we're down on some of the crypto holdings. So, I appreciate that. But
yeah, and Bitcoin's down 50%, not from its lows though. I mean, it's rallied from what, mid to low 20s up to basically 30 in just a couple days. So, and not to pile on, but just to not ignore the question I took was, what do you need to see? You just need ultimate pain. You need people that are going to throw in the towel. You're going to find out who is well capitalized, who's going to have to sell off a big portion of their company. Think of the show Shark Tank. I mean, if you're in dire need for cash right now, you're going to have to give up a lot of percentage of equity for less money than you would have wanted during good times. What doesn't, I hate to pull this cliche so early, Frank, but what doesn't kill you make you stronger? Again, we've seen this through other bear markets. It's not a guarantee that everything's going to reverse and go up, but unless you think the industry is literally going away and money will stop flowing into the space, it's going to take time for that spill to make its way through the ecosystem. But I think Galaxy Digital is going to be there afterwards. I think a lot of other companies are going to be there. Obviously, the big dogs like Bitcoin and Ethereum. So, yeah, Tom Petty, waiting is the hardest part. But unless you think a fundamental thing has changed, then it's just another bear market, unfortunately.
Yeah, and guys, I don't want to make it sound like, hey, we're guessing this is going to happen. I mean, there's a lot of data behind this. I mean, what I want to see is right now with the market crashing, where is the Metaverse, which is our deal. By the way, we're getting a lot of emails. If CurzioEquityOffer.com, if you want to learn more, you can go there. You can see our presentation, a video, and everything. But I'm bringing that up not as talking about our company, but Andreessen Horowitz just last week raised $4.5 billion immediately for its new crypto fund. So you're seeing more and more money being put into the system where people want to invest in this. You're seeing trillions of retirement capital coming in, right, which I just mentioned, with Fidelity, BlackRock, Vanguard allowing us percentage getting into alternative assets now that includes Bitcoin and cryptos. So the money that's flowing into here, it's the clients that want it. That's why they're doing it. I mean, Jamie Dimon said it best. I mean, it's the clients that want it. And you want proof of that. Andreessen Horowitz raising $4.5 billion with their eyes closed. They could do that regardless, but to do it in this kind of market, not just in crypto where the market's selling off, and do it that fast and putting this into, Web 3 companies and early stage companies, again, Metaverse, DeFi, NFT, security tokens, things like that, which is, again, it's blockchain impacting every single industry across the board, validating, providing, proof without having a middleman having to do that with you and charge you massive fees. I mean, this is a game changer. This is a game changer with everything. So I would invest so much in the Metaverse. But this isn't like, oh, just hold on. This is the data that I'm seeing. Okay, if I didn't see the money coming in, I'd be like, okay, hold on. You're seeing money flow into this. They're going to be flowing into the best deals with our network, especially now that we announced this deal. We have an incredible network of people just reaching out to us, which is awesome. But it's going to allow us just to access more great names, less of the bullshit, and for crypto intelligence investors, you have a lot to look forward for. Not just this deal, and I know it's for credit investors only, but it's the new recommendations that are coming out are recommendations that you're not going to find anyplace else. The early stages, before they're trading on major exchanges, that's when you want to buy them, and the upside is absolutely tremendous. We're talking 25, 50x. I mean, these are the companies, that's the potential if they get it right. If they get it wrong, you're going to lose your money. But that's what you want to see in crypto. And just, right now, people coming in, especially crypto intelligence, I think you're going to be very, very, very happy over the next few years because this is the future. This is the future. Everybody knows it. Everyone on Wall Street knows it. Finance knows it. They're raising capital. You've seen Andreessen Horowitz, the biggest venture capitalist firm in the world. This is where they're going. Everybody's going here. All the big names are starting to push into here, and you need to be in it because this is where the gains are going to come. This is 1993, 94 of the internet. Boom. Going to 1999 into 2000. That's just, my opinion. So I think we beat that to death, but I have another question for you, Daniel. And this is from HC. So he addresses me. He goes, Frank, did you see the new Top Gun yet? I haven't seen it. Have you seen the new Top Gun?
No.
He goes, if not, you should see it. One of the best movies I've seen in a long time. What are the best plays on this? AMC? Just to let you know, if you haven't saw it, I don't know if you look at the stats because you've been on a boat in the middle of nowhere.
I've been back a week. Listen to this. See the conditions I work under?
So, Top Gun Maverick, grossed $156 million domestically over Memorial Day weekend.
I was going to guess that. I read that headline.
New record. new record for Memorial Day, which is incredible. In 4 days, that's up to 220 million now. So I've heard from the people that saw it that people were crying coming out. They're like amazing. I've heard like people just, even on Rotten Tomatoes, it's like got one of the highest ratings. I haven't seen it, but AMC. I mean, what are you thinking there? I don't know if AMC is going to benefit though. They are going to benefit, and you're seeing the slate of movies. And this year, movies have been fantastic, right? You had the new Batman movie that did very well, Spider-Man: Homecoming, Doctor Strange came out, and you have Jurassic Park coming out pretty soon, right? And then you just had this release, which is, nobody knew it was going to do this good, but this blew it out of the water. So the movies are back, at least here, but, I don't know if AMC is the best play. I wouldn't touch AMC. It just, there's too much debt there and super, super expensive stock.
Well, you don't want to get involved with the crypto crowd there. We've been talking about it too much. I would play IMAX. Isn't IMAX? I'm giving away you're probably going to be mad
IMAX,
at me.
No. That's what I was going to say. If you're going to play IMAX, I'm going to tell you something about IMAX.
You're welcome, Curzio Research Advisory.
Yeah, we didn't go over this either beforehand, right? So I'm going to give you a little stats on IMAX. So IMAX brought in $32 million just through this movie, Top Gun Maverick, right? So just $32 million. Now, that's more than half the revenue they generated for the entire Q1. They also generated $55 million for Doctor Strange a few weeks ago, which is part of this Q2. And you have Jurassic World Dominion, it's coming out in 10 days. And that's probably going to be a monster, no pun intended, hit, because they're bringing, just like in Spider-Man: Homecoming, they brought back all the old characters. It's probably going to do extremely well. So you're looking at close to $90 million already for the quarter without Jurassic Park. That's 50% higher than last quarter. The stock was trading at 17 before the holiday weekend, and now it's trading at $17.30 at close. Plus, there's a company that's getting zero help from China that has a very big presence in China because of lockdowns. But as I shared in yesterday's podcast, you're seeing Shanghai, people track electricity statistics, industry. It's starting to open up. It's back to about 80% capacity. Again,
it goes into effect today, the first. They're lifting stuff and all that.
So, that's without China. And China's going to come back, and they love their movies. And there's just a huge slate on, coming for the rest of the year. People are dying. They love the movies. It's great. The theater's better than ever. I mean, IMAX to be trading, I said this stock should be trading north of $22 a share. I mean, they're going to blow out the numbers. No one's really updated those numbers yet because so much has gone on. I just looked at the analyst reports before I actually came on here. They're just going to blow out the numbers next quarter. They have to be raised significantly. And again, they were lowered into the quarter because of China being a big part. And they still did perform very well quarter without China. With China, holy cow. But again, you're looking at $90 million for the quarter just right now without Jurassic Park, which is going to be another major, major hit. That's a big fan base there. Compared to $60 million, man, IMAX is a steal right here. It's an absolute steal. Listen, if the market is shitty, the stock's going to go down along with everything else. I'm just saying, if the market stays like this, kind of up and down, but this is a stock that should be, north of probably $25 a share. I mean, this is one of those names that we see, Daniel, in a market where you see the leveraging and everything coming down. They're massive growth, huge catalysts, getting it done. You're seeing people go to theaters now. COVID getting lifted in China. COVID is in the rearview mirror for most people in most countries, not China yet, but most people just like, I'm dealing with it. It's okay. Even though I got to, go to the doctor to get the vaccine or get tested for the vaccine that's supposed to prevent me from COVID, which is a little weird when you think about it. But anyway,
you still got to take a test. I still had to take a test to get back into the country.
Yeah, I just think it's fun. We're taking a test for a vaccine that's supposed to prevent COVID. Anyway, we won't get into that anymore. But IMAX, it's a name that's been unfairly punished. There's a lot of names. This is kind of an industry leader within its space. It has carved out its own little niche, however you want to say that word. I say it any other way. But these guys are getting it done, and man, they're going to report blowout quarter, they're going to report a blowout year, and I don't think it's factored into price right now.
I have never been to an IMAX theater.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've heard really good things about it, and it was fun researching the stock when we recommend. But no, I'm not a big movie guy. And speaking of movies, real quick, Jurassic Park. What number of Jurassic Park will that be? They got to be up to like 6, right? Maybe. I know it's. It's interesting. I think
it might be 5
for a dumb moviegoer like me. Whenever they quit counting. Like I was on one airplane and I skimmed through. I'm the weird guy on the airplane that I usually don't use headphones. I just skim through to the action scenes. Mm-hmm. There's a Fast and Furious 9.
Yeah.
9, Frank.
9. And you know what? I'm going to see it. because they're all entertaining as well.
I skipped.
They're all stupidly entertaining.
Yeah, they are. It's just fun to let your mind go and like, all right, this guy's gonna catapult from this island to that island on a rope in a 3,000-pound car doing 100 mile an hour. It's easy. Awesome. It's wonderful. Anyway,
yeah,
IMAX.
You talk about a guy who liked Armageddon, so yeah,
I did too. I'm with you. I'm not against cheesy movies. I just laugh at the rinse repeat model. I'm jealous of it. Actually, I wish we could do it. So
and look, it is whatever makes the money. I mean, all you've seen is remake after remake. You're seeing the same Spider-Man come out, kind of with the same thesis, and they're generating $1 billion. So
I think it was, I don't know which one it was from ZZ Top. Real quick here, sorry, but I remember seeing in an interview or something about MTV and ZZ Top was taken off, and MTV really boosted them. And one of them made the comment was like, "Yeah, music videos. We didn't know what music videos were, but we got great-looking women." Hot rods, music. He's like, yeah, we'll do this as often as you want to. Like, what the hell? That's kind of like what Fast and Furious is, just entertaining. Anyway, all right.
Just people want to be entertained, and they are being entertained. But the IMAX theater, really quick, the thing that separates itself is you can really get a good theater experience. AMC, the redone movie theaters are amazing, but you could have surround sound, and I'm very, very into this stuff. So you could create your own theater, surround sound, speakers, amazing, and create like an awesome experience inside your house. You cannot do that with the IMAX theater. That's a totally different showing that blows you away with 3D glasses. Finally, that you don't get dizzy and you don't feel sick. And they changed that probably 5 years ago and made technology a lot better. That's a totally different experience. And with this type of movie and the Marvel movies and stuff like that, I mean, IMAX is just they got it right. They're going to be around forever. There's nobody else that's doing this, but that's a totally different experience where you can go to the movies and there's some great movies and you get the surround sound. It's loud, but you can get a lot of that now at home with the right theater setup. You're not going to get the IMAX at home at all, which is a different experience. So that's going to be around forever, and those guys done a good job. So Daniel, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. Hopefully I'll see you again next month.
Unbelievable.
And if not, then we'll go from there, buddy. I really appreciate it. So, yep. And I got to bust Daniel's butt. He's in the office. Like, I got to kick him out of the office. So he's here all the time. So he knows I'm gonna bust his chops.
No, I appreciate that. No, it's good to get heckled even from your closest peers. But great to be back. This is what I miss most. This and then golf. I'm not gonna lie.
So
I miss playing golf. But
email frankcurzioresearch.com. Any questions or comments? And
Daniel at curzioresearch.com.
I always forget that. I don't know why.
I'm back.
He's back. All right, guys. That's it for us. Really appreciate the support. frankcurzioresearch.com. Again, if you're interested, I'm still getting emails for our Metaverse deal where we're raising money for. So you just go to CurzioEquityOffer.com and you can see it on our website to watch our video pitch deck. It's probably the only video pitch deck that you'll see, but you'll be able to get all the answers that you need. If not, you can call me personally if you're serious about coming in. Again, CurzioEquityOffer.com. So subscription agreements, everything is there. And anything else I can do for you, again, send us an email. So that's it for us, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.